The politicians, whether it is the Igbo politicians or the Hausa politicians or the Yoruba politicians, these people we are talking about is less than 5,000 people that take all of us for a jugular. It's just for us who doesn't have common sense. If we have common sense, we will put them to where they belong.
With their bullets and guns.
But if you are not willing to make a sacrifice, you can't make omelette without breaking egg. Check what happened in Egypt. Somebody had to put himself on fire for the revolution to happen. What happened in France? The young people here have given up in the country. That's why they're taking them for a ride. When you move out to go, how many of you would they kill? They will kill 1,000 or they will kill 100,000. If you need to pay price for the other people, if you don't pay price, generation unborn for aeons of years will hold us responsible that in our generation we did nothing. Those guys running away from the toll gate was the worst mistake they did.
Seriously.
I'm telling you, they should have stood there.
That very day,
that day, and dare those people for the once and for all.
Wow.
The oppressors know the game, they understand it. Once they did that and they know you are afraid of it, then they will never leave. All they know is themselves and their family.
Yes.
They will never change. If they kill 5,000 Nigeria, the whole country will change. That will be the end of all this mess. But 5,000 have paid the price to redeem 200 million people. But 200 million people say, let 5,000 people do with us whatever they like. They like the shit in our head, we eat their shit. And we are happy with it. Or we leave the country for them. And they are happy. You think they are going to release power for free? You are joking. This is their life. They've lived in it. These young people need to take their destiny in their own hand and say, we have had enough of this. If I'm a young man, maybe I would have lived a revolution. I am 66. I'm going to be 70 in 4 years. I'm 67 this year. So another 14, 13 years, I'm 80 years. It has passed our own time. But if I'm 18, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, you think I will not do anything? With the life I live, we're coming up, I would have done something.
Wow.
This federal character is the problem. Create a level playing field so that the best of us could come out. Am I saying there's no good people in there are many first-class brains in the northern part of Nigeria and in other part of this country who will excel. But until we have a country that is based on equity and best brain, they will never make any progress as a nation. It's not about preference of where you come from. I'm not asking for any preferential treatment. What I need is a level playing field. Any young man or woman, you make yourself when you are young. If you don't need to wait till you become 30 or 40, go check. Statistic prove 86% of successful people on the face of this earth all became between the age of 12 and 28. And I made my first $2 million by the age of 24. If you don't get it by 30, you already miss it. All the people are waiting to become billionaire at 40, 45. They are only taking chance on 14%. Seriously. 86% all became between the age of 12 and 28. Success, whether today or tomorrow, is about mindset. It's about the way you process information, the way you think. Many young people say this country is completely useless. If you truly believe it, it will be useless in your mind and you cannot see when you look. I am one of the person who's believe it could be better, but I do not believe that this is a useless country. Such language will never cross my mouth because it's about your belief. Your belief is what will project who you are. There are many eyes that are looking, but there are very few eyes that can see. Mindset is what makes all the difference. A successful man or a woman is an individual that will organize his thought into productivity. If you cannot organize your thought into productivity, you are a great intellectual. You speak an impeccable English, but you have nothing to show for it. So success is not a degree. You can have all the grammar and speak it. Until you organize it into productivity, then you can be successful. What I tell young people, don't just sit down and say, I want to be successful. Ask yourself, how? Do they use mouth to be successful? The same thing, I want to be a doctor. How? Your analytic thinking click in. You need to be good in 5 science subjects. I need to be good in maths, extra maths, in English. You don't have it. That's not the problem. You already identified what the problem is. Then you get a tutor, somebody who need to start teaching you. If you are intentional, 8 years from that day, you become a medical doctor. So it's a mindset. I want to be successful. How? By watching television every morning or by WhatsApping message to everybody. When your analytic thinking come in, you start making provision. Because everything you need to become a superstar is not outside of you. God put it in you when you are born. Nothing more you need outside of you. You need to look inward. There's no ungifted man. God never created anybody that is not gifted. Even a man or a woman with impediment of sight. Look inside.
Welcome to another insightful episode of Selahmeditate, where we bring you industry tycoons and high calibers of individuals to discuss on business, mindset, self-development, social change, and topics that are going to inspire you, challenge your perspective, and transform your life. I remain your very host, Benzik, and today I have the rare privilege of sitting with a man whose story has inspired millions and generations, from selling spare parts on the street to building one of Nigeria's most respected business empire. He's not just a billionaire, he's also a man of faith and relentless discipline and uncommon wisdom. And he's no other person than the president and founder of Coscharis Group. Today, he's here with us to share his uncommon wisdom. If you have watched any of his videos before or interviews before, I can assure you that this is not going to be like any that you've seen before. It's going to be highly impactful. We're going to touch on many areas and go deeply and fetch from his well of wisdom that's going to inspire you, change your mindset, and also transform you in a way that you've never seen before. So this video is going to be one of the best you've seen in recent time. So before we get right into the video, if it's the first time of coming to this channel, the way to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. My analytics showed me that many of our viewers are not yet subscribed. So take a moment, hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it with those who this is going to impact. So guys, welcome my highly incredible entrepreneur, Dr. Cosmas Maduka.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much.
To be in your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate this time you shared with me. Okay. Now, you shared your story a lot of time and you repeated your story a lot of time. So in order to get the foundation on which this our interview is going to sail, let's take like 5 minutes to give a background of your story once again.
Okay, I think it's very simple. I thought by this time quite a number of people should be tired of my story. But like someone said to me that my story is very compelling because it's really a true manifestation of the act of the love of God. Our story is way out of this world, something you can simply describe to be incredible. But it's truth, you know. Incredible is something you almost can say, no, that's look like a fiction, but it's real. So, but to God we give all the glory. It has nothing to do with me as an individual. For those of you who may not know, I was born to one Rosaline Maduka, that's my mother, and Peter Maduka, my father. And my father died at very tender age of his life at 44. I was just only 4 years when he died. By the death of my father, my mother became a single parent, and somehow they have 4 children in quick succession, and I happened to be the second out of those 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. Life was not really rosy or favorable to me because soon after the death of my father, Nigeria's Civil War broke out. So we went through what people can describe in natural form as hell on earth, okay? But I thank God for a godly mother who really believed in God. My mother was a Catholic, a very devoted Catholic woman. And I tell people that women make all the difference in the life of the people. So I say this with all sense of respect that my mother was my angel, was my God's given angel, because she's a woman of vision who tarried in prayer for his children. At that tender age of 4, she looked me straight into the eye and encouraged me to believe in myself and to believe in God, and that I will go places in life. So I grew up with optimism, believing that no door closes before me. I live with that confidence of what my mother said to me. My mother did not just pray, but he taught us how to pray. Will wake us up early in the morning by 5 a.m. and we have to say those Catholic rosary. If you try to behave like you are still sleeping, her first 5 finger will come on your bum bum. You know, people will say, is that how to raise a kid? I don't know, but God gives people inspiration on what to do. And then if you try to doze off for the second time, a cup of water will empty into your head. That was the worst for me. That almost made me that, what kind of wicked thing is this? But that's how the hunger of God developed in me. I grew up not wanting to take a chance on anything. When I was 7 years, they told us that Mary visited 3 children at Fatima. Because I do not want a second-handed God, I went inside the bush to pray. And I was telling Mary, you went to Fatima, you can come to Newi. Not in doubt, but in depth of sincerity. I was praying, expecting Mary to come. I always tell people that a painted fire will not warm them up. You need a real fire in your life. You can't thrive in your mother's faith or religion. You need to experience God by yourself. You need to come in contact with the person of the risen Lord Jesus Christ in his own grace by yourself, so that you know God, not by what anybody said. Of course, you need to be tutored. You need to be taught at a certain level of time in your life. But after that, you have to make that discovery yourself and live by it. So that's my story. Like I said, it's way out of this world, because the best I knew of my father was a day people were coming into our heart. It was like a festival, like, you know, people were shooting guns and masquerade were coming. And I was wondering what a wonderful day that day was. Because growing up from the harsh poverty we came from, rice used to be a delicacy, which we eat only in a festival time, Christmas. But this particular day, I ate rice as many times as I like. Everybody that passed. And I was saying, oh my God, such a day should never end. This day would just be the way life should be. But later in life, I got to find out that that was the burial of my father. But that's my humble beginning.
Okay, you succeeded quite very early in life.
Yes.
Now, in your own opinion, succeeding then and now, what time do you think is the best time to make more money? Which means, do you think it's more easier to make more money then when you were growing up than now compared to this era?
Okay, let me back up that story for those who did not know. Because of the death of my father, it was tough for my mother to struggle to take care of 4 of us. So he had to send me to live with my grandparents and then take care of my senior brother, where I hail from. You know, every attention is paid for the first son. Every other person is second cousin in the family. So my mother, you know, pour all her attention. The little stipends she's able to get, she was supporting my senior brother to get up to 6th grade in school. So I went to live with his parents. Of course, they taught me they taught me how to be industrious, you know. So from that tender age, before I turned 8, I already know how to climb palm tree, you know, dress it for women and charge them 9 pence. If I just get the fruit out, then I charge 3 pence, 6 pence. I started becoming a breadwinner very early stage of my life. My grandfather struggled to support me, but he couldn't pay my school fees. Just he stopped at 3rd grade. So the person speaking to you, I've never been in a 4-corner wall beyond what you call elementary 3. That was the best I could do. By 8 years, I came to Lagos to live with my uncle. That's my mother's junior brother, and work for him. I used to sleep somewhere in the Butemeta at Oyimbo bus stop at 88 Griffith Street. That's where his store is. And I worked for him for 5.5 years under apprenticeship. So he tutored me, mentored me, fed me, but there was no contractual agreement that was reached. So by the end of that 5.5 years, I had met in contact with the person of Jesus Christ, and I went to church for 3 days camping. We are fasting and praying. My uncle came. He wasn't too happy that I shut down his office on Monday and went to stab myself to death. And he called me in 1976. And I went with my senior brother that fateful evening. Out of anger, he gave me 200 Naira. And my senior brother asked me to leave the 200 Naira and let us go. But I turned to him and asked him if he had anyone to give me when we get home. He said no. I said, so why are you asking me to leave this? Well, I want everybody who is listening to me to understand the reason to understand principle and to follow it. And more importantly, the reason to meet the Lord Jesus Christ very early stage in your life. Because I've come in contact with the person of Jesus Christ and I knew the principle of the Word of God. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. What he did in the Bible days, he can do today. So, no reason to say whether it is easy. The time I started, people can today say it's easy then. No. By that time, people are already running away to America and saying that this country is completely useless. My uncle gave me 200 Naira. I could have go to restaurant that evening and ate goat head, which is delicacy in my town or village. But success, whether today or tomorrow, is about mindset. It's about the way you process information, the way you think. Many young people say this country is completely useless. If you truly believe it, it will be useless in your mind and you cannot see when you look, because it's about your belief. Your belief is what will project who you are. In that time where I grew up, people said, there's nothing good coming out of this place. Many people thought that japa is a new thing. It's not a new syndrome. 40 years ago, people already started running away from this country. I visited America first time in my life in 1979. And I wanted to return back to Nigeria. People are asking me, is my head correct? What is wrong with me? I remember a lady asking me in the airport, what is my frustration? Because by that time, people believe that this country is useless, that things are not going well. So it's not a new phenomenon. I came back to Nigeria against the wish and advice of everybody. I can go to school, I get a job, but I believe to be a true Nigerian, you have to be identified. You share from her shame and glory. I believe there's opportunity here and that I can make it here. So I took the 200 Naira my uncle gave me, team up with my senior brother, and we form a company called Maduka Brothers. Within 6 months, we differ in ideology. If you read my book, From Trial to Triumph, you will get all the story. Ambassador Odon, who wrote the book, went to interview him. And my senior brother explained, what made us part way is on principle of the Word of God. I go to church, I went with 1 Naira. I said, I can't take 1 Naira from our business money. Why did that they give 10 kobo in their Catholic church? I told him, you drank beer, I drink Coca-Cola. The 1 Naira I gave compensate for Coca-Cola you drank. He told me, let us separate. I jump up. He said, what's my excitement? I said, God's word called for total separation from every unbelief. Maybe God decided to liberate me. And we parted way. And then from there, God continued to bless me. I won't say it is easier then than it is today, but I will say if you have the same mindset I have 40 years ago or 50 years ago, you will do the same thing today. Because people are running away from Nigeria and say this country is useless. It cannot offer anybody anything. Chinese kneel down and pray and say, God, if you get me to Nigeria, you have done everything you can do for me. I become everything I want to be. Just take me to Nigeria. And people are running away from Nigeria. Indians are praying to come to Nigeria. You see an India come to Nigeria with bathroom slippers. After 4 years, he has a factory, he has something. The same thing with Chinese. It's because we don't want to see. There are many eyes that are looking, but there are very few eyes that can see. Mindset is what makes all the difference.
Now, do you think you could have succeeded much more better or much more higher if you had went to higher education?
I wouldn't say it could have made any difference. The only thing, if I have gone through high education, would have done is that it would have polished my grammar. I would speak an impeccable English, but it would not have had anything about my success, because success, I happened to speak 3 weeks ago. I spoke at Trinity University, their third convocation ceremony. The topic I spoke on is that success is not a degree. And it was like a paradox. These are graduating students, and I'm telling them that success is not a degree. So what is success? Success is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not a degree. There are many people with PhD, LLB, whatever. Henry Ford were asked who is a successful person. As Henry Ford said, a successful man or a woman is an individual that will organize his thought into productivity. If you cannot organize your thought into productivity, you are a great intellectual. You speak an impeccable English, but you have nothing to show for it. So success is not a degree. You can have all the grammar and speak it until you organize it into productivity. Then you can be successful.
So if you see a young man now, 22, with vigor, and is thinking to go into to hustle to start business or to go into school, which would you advise the person to do?
I will, frankly speaking, advise him to go to school, because we are living in a different age. The age we are living today, you need to have a degree first. If you still want to come back to business, you go to business. If the world expand the way it is, it got to get to a point that you need a degree to be a truck driver, because if the world continue and every information on the car have to be, something you need to code and determine. If you don't go to school, you'll not be able to do that. So I didn't have opportunity to go to school. It's not an endorsement that people should not go to school, because I made sure all my children went to school. But what I'm saying is that you cannot just accept what life throw at you and throw your hands at the up and be despair. You need to make life, regardless of what life throw at you. You need to take the challenge and know that no one single person have it all. What you did not have, there's something God put in you that will compensate for what you did not have. I didn't have a formal education, but I have common sense. That common sense for me is better than any degree anybody can give me in anywhere. And I use that common sense to enrich myself, and I was successful.
You are very bold in speaking about your faith in God and Christ. Do you think that contributed to your success?
Absolutely. I can never take my success away from my faith in God. In fact, because as a young man, before I turned 14, 15, I already smoked. A young lady has introduced me to pornography. You can imagine what would have happened to me by 17, 18, 19. I was heading for disaster. So meeting Christ at the early stage of my life was the best thing that can ever happen to me. And I dare say that any young man or woman, because you make yourself when you are young. If you don't need to wait till you become 30 or 40. Go check. Statistic prove 86% of successful people on the face of this earth all became between the age of 12 and 28. If you don't get it by 30, you already miss it. All these people that are waiting, all the people are waiting to become billionaire at 40, 45. They are only taking chance on 14%.
Seriously.
86% all became, please Google it, between the age of 12 and 28. Whether even for salvation or business or anything, if you don't get it at that, you make yourself when you are young. If you don't get it at that teen age where your ideas are bubbling in you, things are running in your mind, where you have energy, you can somersault, take chances in life. If you don't key in to really be meaningful by that time, you are among the 14% taking chance on the 14%.
Now, what you need to get is this: many of our youth these days in this part of the world find it the policy, the economy has made it very difficult for many people to scale through. So, are you going to say that if someone hasn't gotten it before 30, it means the person has missed the mark?
No, that's not what I'm saying. There are still taking chance among the 14% that is left. If you read the man that it was at 66 under a tree where he is writing his suicide mission, that he came to his senses after deciding he's a failure. Everything he had done before then was a failure, and he was about to commit suicide. And one man asked him, "Is there nothing more you can do?" He said, "I can fly chicken." And he picked up his spirit and went back home and started flying chicken and starts sending it to different people's house. And from there, he created this franchise that is all over the world today. And by 88, he became a billionaire in US dollar. There's nothing that says you cannot make it in 70, but it's like a pyramid. It's thinned down. It's getting slower. The foundation base, 86%, is within that teen age. But as it's going either, it's getting narrower. You can make it at 88. But you are like the last 1% in the number of the people that made it. As your age is getting, because as you are getting older, you are become more risk averse. You begin to value life. By 15, 17, if you see me driving motorbike, you think I'm going to die the following day. I climb on top of bike, I lift my hand. Death doesn't cross my mind. You are more advanced to take risk at that. If you run management, even at management level, they will take you to high mountain and things like that, because you need things that will scare you to build confidence, to be able to make decisions and risk. So, but if you are young and start taking those risks, it helps you to get matured, because business is also a risk. You need to take business risk and decisions, tough decisions. It is by things you have confronted in life that will give you the courage to know when to advance in that particular time. Many people, are so like standing on the gap. They just feel we can't go beyond here. You don't succeed with things like that. You must dare life. You must take challenges. I'm a very confident person. Actually, if you want to understand how life operates, you require 3 things to succeed in life. Number 1 is vision. Vision is the art, seeing the end before you start the journey. It's about the destination, the picture you paint in your mind, the thing that excitement you have because you believe you are going to get there. The second thing you require is faith to believe in your vision. Nobody can talk you out of it. You will be willing to be laughed at. If you are not prepared for people to laugh at you, you are not heading to anywhere in life. Being laughed at is part of the package for success. But when that vision crystallizes in your mind, you see something no other person is seeing. And if people don't say you are crazy, then your vision is not from God. Because you have to be so possessed with it till you are almost like a mental person that nobody will believe you. Because every true vision has one believer. You are the only believer of your vision. Your mother don't believe you. I've left my mother on the road because she disagreed with me when I'm telling her what I'm going to do. My mother was in my car with my wife after I had my plans and vision. And I told my mom, I said, by 25, I will be a millionaire. He told me to stop talking like that. That irritates her. That the way I talk turns her stomach. I said, Mom, I didn't insult you. By 25, I will make my first 1 million naira. He said, if I say that again, he will get away. He get out on the car. I stopped the car, went to her ear, said, Mom, 2 more years. If you like, get down. She got down. I jammed the car, start the car and move away. My wife asked me, are you out of your mind? I said, I can also drop you. And I left. And I made my first $2 million by the age of 24, not 25.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Where I'm still living today in my village that I built it before I turned 25.
Can you imagine?
So by 15, I had clear vision of where I wanted to be, and I wrote them down, not in my head. Because Bible say, that's where I'm coming from, Bible principle, that if you have a vision, write it down. At 15, I wrote that by 18, I want to live in 3 bedrooms apartment of my own. By 20, I want to take a lady to altar as a wife. And by 21st, I want to have a son, a male boy. And 23, I want to own a car. And by 25, I want to be a millionaire. I didn't have it in my head. I wrote it down. I placed it on the wall of my bed. You can call it a ritual. You can call it anything. It will be the last thing I will look at before I sleep. It will be the last thing I will look before I go out in the morning. To remind me where I'm going. So if I meet me on the street, you are talking to me, I am listening to you with one mind. Everything you are saying, I'm taking you and I'm placing you into those things and see whether you belong there. If you don't fit in into any of those 5 things, I cut you out because you're a distraction in my life. If you're a young lady and I become your friend and you want me to have sex with you, I cut you off because unwanted child cannot take me there. I had clear sense of direction. So the first thing is vision. The second thing is faith, to believe in your vision. And the third thing is courage, to act in your vision. Courage is not an absence of fear. It's ability to act in the face of danger. If I perish, I perish. You are so confident about where you are going and who you want to be. Nobody can talk you away from it. My late wife, God bless her memory, when I eventually talked to her when I was 17, I was under 18 when I approached her. Because I have clear sense of purpose. My senior brother was still living with my mother, where I left my father's home, 2-bedroom, where we all live, and went and rent 3-bedroom apartment of myself. By 18, I was living in 3 bedrooms apartment because I planned for my life. And she asked me, where am I taking to her? I shared my vision. I said, by 20, we will be here. By 21, we will be here. By 22, she held my 2 hands and said, we do it together. That's why I tell young lady, don't ask a man, do you love me? That's the wrongest question to ask. If he doesn't love you, he will not talk to you. Ask him, share your vision with me. Where are you taking me? Don't marry any man that has no plan for his life, because you are going to hit some rock and disaster. So she's a visionary woman, and she married me against everybody in his family. His uncle shot me 3 times and told me he will kill me, that I brainwashed their daughter. Okay? Because she could see the fire burning inside of me, and I shared it. I took her to altar on September 23rd, 1978. I was to turn 20 years on December that day. I beat it by 3 months. I set goals and I beat them.
Now, which one do you think worked for you the most? Is it hard work? Is it connections or luck?
What works for me the most is mindset. I have no connection. I have nothing. Mindset. And those mindset comes from my faith. I believe in myself. You can never talk me out of myself. I'm confident on what God says about me. You can't talk me away from it. So by 20 years, I took a lady to altar. I did what husband did to their wife, but God knew these 2 baby cannot be making baby, and close the womb. Because I wanted a son by 21. But my first son came at 26. It's not all your vision that will happen exactly the way you planned them. But I pursue my other vision. By 22, I bought my first car, Passat, Volkswagen, blue color. I beat it by 1 year. That was plan I had for 23. That was the car my mother was with me and we are traveling. And I told her what I'm going to do by 25. The truth is that you have to live an intentional life. What I tell young people, don't just sit down and say, I want to be successful. Ask yourself, how? How do they use mouth to be successful? The same thing, I want to be a doctor. How? Your analytic thinking click in. You need to be good in 5 science subjects. I need to be good in maths. I need to be good in extra maths. I need to be good in English. You don't have it. That's not the problem. You already identified what the problem is. Then you get a tutor, somebody who needs to start teaching you. If you are intentional, 8 years from that day, you become a medical doctor. So it's a mindset. I want to be successful. How? By watching television every morning or by WhatsApping message to everybody. So you need to, when your analytic thinking come in, you start making provision. And that's why if you don't have a job, go get a job.
Now the challenge now is the economy the way it is then when you are growing up.
You know, this is
from what it is now.
This is excuse.
Yes, but you know, it's something that people are facing every day. Now, if you see the average person in this era that we are now, you made all these things while you were very young, from your early 20s, like you said. But the average person, the average youth these days, maybe 25, maybe 30, they are even still in their parents' house. So the economy. That
is where the major problem is, because parents has not done good job with their children. There are parents who still support 30 years kids, giving them money.
It's bad.
It's bad. Absolutely, it's bad. It's bad. How could you see have a child that is 30 years and you are giving him pocket money, still collecting money from you, living in your own house?
So you chase him away?
Of course. Do you know how Igbo treat their own children? The Igbo live with their mom under the chair, but at a certain time, he takes his children to a flight. He tear off all those coating that he put. Only thorns are there so that the children will not. Nobody grow in a comfort zone. You grow in a difficult condition. If life continues. Every human being, none of us, Henry Ford said, nobody is incapable of doing more than he or she think he can. But we all limit ourselves. If I tell you now that all of you can jump up and hit this ceiling, now you tell me there's no spring in your leg. If the 5 lions drop here now to eat us, you will reach your full potential. Your spring will grow in your leg. You will be surprised how you are hanging on top of this thing by the time the lion gone. Because you know lion don't jump up. Because at that time, something will release adrenaline in you.
Survival instinct.
Survival instinct. Things you never believe you can. So if you stay in a normal comfort zone, no, I cannot. No, I cannot. We are not made like that. But if situation confronts you with it, so that's why they say necessity is the mother of invention. There are many things I never believed I could. So the death of my father was opportunity. This hardship we have in Nigeria is opportunity for growth. It's opportunity for development. But some Nigerians are taking it as an excuse of not doing anything. You need to confront life.
Now, you see the challenge. I watched one of your interviews where you said a young man should have before 30 or before you marry, you should have at least 2-3 bedroom flat. You know the rates at which landlords charging rent these days. You know the rate of the economy, the rate of which things are very costly. So how do you expect somebody that is still trying to build
any young man that knows what to do by 30 years should not be just talking about living in 3 bedrooms apartment. Should own his own house. I don't want to overstretch that. And if you like, in this generation, I can still show you young people at 30 years that are building house. It's all about how early you exposed for life. See, many times we parents create the problem. Okay, and why do I say we parents create the problem? My wife is late. If I had any problem with her in our 43 years of living together, it's how to raise our kids. Yeah, because she think I'm too hard on the kids. Why is she thinking I'm too hard to the kids? That these children don't need to suffer what myself and her suffered. That they should take the comfort we're there. And I asked her, I said, the thing we suffer, did he make us better human being or did he make us worse people? If that thing that makes us better human being, why do you think is bad for our kids? Okay, so my daughter I had only one girl. She's a medical doctor, and she went to Idialaba. She's Unilag, and we want to come to church. He said, driver. I said, jump Okada, come to church. What do people jumping Okada? They're not human beings, children.
Seriously.
Of course, because my daughter knew I made her jump Okada. She had confidence because I built confidence in her. She rides on my motorbike today. I can take her on a bike and she's not afraid to stay in the bike. If you never expose people to things, you cannot expect them to get those things. The first instinct is that I cannot. Left with my wife alone is the worst thing that I have done to make my daughter drive in a Okada.
You're not afraid that she may be kidnapped, apart from...
Why would if she kidnapped, would she be the only first person that has been kidnapped? She will gain experience from that kidnapping. Necessity is those things are experience that makes people grow. Many parents have the problem of their kids, so that's why the lady I'm talking to is an American citizen. Okay, I have 3 of them. But I made them go to school here. I insisted that all my children will go. Some people say it's because I'm not educated. I held them and I give them credit for it. But all my children are living in this country today. Okay? And they have done their postgraduate abroad. But they have to come back. I didn't need to beg them to come back. Why? Because they went through primary school here. They made friends in school here. Most of my contemporary have lost their children because from before high school, even in Europe, they send them to London. They detach, they make friends there. You do everything to force them to come back here. They can never be here because they never grow up here. The system here they've never been used to it. But my children, they are beginning to admit they made mistake. By the way they raise their kids. But all my children are in my business, including my daughter. Now she joined me. Wow. Okay, yeah, so the truth is that you need to expose children early to face the real true challenge of life. Let me tell you how it happened. The Japanese are the people who knew how best to do. If you go to kindergarten school of Japan, there's no janitor. The children mess the floor, they clean the floor. So they learn how to clean. You now hear that the Japanese went to Olympic and after people threw things in it and they clean all of the place, it's something they grew up with. It become a culture. It's not something they are learning. They are not doing it to impress you. They thought nobody take you to school with car in Japan. You walk to go to school. You are taught how to cross traffic light. And then if motor stop for you, after you cross, you buy for the car. So those culture, people, they grew up with it. It become like fish to water. It's not something they struggle. So whether there's police or not, they will not jump traffic. They will stay on the traffic road. They show courtesy. Is how about upbringing. The problem we are suffering in our country, 90%, is that many parents are delinquent. It's not child delinquency, it's parental delinquency. Wow. That the children are suffering. Because those children, look, many women never train their daughter. They go get maid who does everything in the house.
Yes.
He taught the maid how to cook a goosey soup, how to cook this. Her own daughter only know how to eat and all of those things and all of that. And so all the things he mentored that girl. So that maid is good for a wife. It's a prepared wife.
Prepared wife, yes.
Her own daughter, once he get married, he and her husband had to go and buy fast food because the boy himself, his mother didn't train him. Also, maid did everything for the man. It won't be long, they start fighting in the home because they don't have culture that build them up. So many problems come parents are much instrumental to the things their children go through in life, but it's too late. They now begin to blame the children. If they ask for 5 naira, you give them 10 naira. If they ask for 10 naira, you give them 1,000 naira. So they think 3 grow money.
That means that is over pampering. Even if you have the money to give to them, you shouldn't.
Okay. So those are some of the things that I raised 5 kids without television in my house, and my children didn't like it. It was the worst thing that happened. They said this house is very useless. I said, please don't profile me. Even God didn't give his son and daughter everything. He kept one tree and said, don't eat from it. So you have swimming pool here, you have long tennis court, you have table tennis court, you have every amenities, you have 1 bedroom with toilet, but there's no television. You must lack something that will help you get close to God.
Wow.
And by 22, I told my wife, I said, can you accept? I don't want television in this house. My wife said, why? I said, I come back from office by 11, 12. I want to talk to you, have fellowship with you. I don't want to come back by 9 or 10 o'clock. Another gentleman is talking. We are listening to him. Or we are talking, he's interjecting in our discussion. When he finishes, we go to bed. We don't have fellowship. The next thing is that I bust your mouth. A woman number 1 need is affection. She wants to talk to you. A man needs sex. A woman is not about sex. A woman is affection. She's bottled up. She wants to do. So I want fellowship so you can talk. And I drop phone and look at your face. Get your mind. Then we sleep. So I live with my wife for 43 years. Not for one day I get angry and I pointed at her mouth. But we don't have television. Nobody get everything. You must ask yourself what works for you. What do you think is important for your life and not? So today I don't miss CNN, I don't miss cable television, I don't know what they say. Whatever Mr. Trumpet is saying doesn't bother me. I'm busy with my life, other things that is important. You know, so many things you people block in your head. I use that my time for other things.
Then how do you stay updated with things that are happening?
Oh, if anything is important, I'll get it now. There are people who their job is to forward things and all of those things. If they forward it and get the news. But I never chase for any news. Never. But there's no important news that I did not know. Within 24 hours, you know.
Now, as a businessman in Nigeria, and as an Igbo man, there is this stereotype that people talk about the fact that as an Igbo man in the country, the system, the policy doesn't allow you to do well or to scale or to become big or to be rich. Have there been any situation or something was denied you, whether in large scale, whether from the government or anything, simply because you're an Igbo man?
Yeah, well, whether anybody like it or not, the truth has to be told.
Yes.
We lost the war. And we've been treated as people who lost the war, whether anybody like it or not. Whether anybody like it or not, till today, the case of the last election, where we did all the counting and all the voting, and when it comes to the presidential vote, then there's a glitch.
There's a glitch.
So it's the same thing. There's no two-way about it. Whether I said it or I do not say it, to a great extent, we have been treated as people who lose the war. And also with the theory that has been propagated until IBB helped to clarify it recently, you know, about the Igbo coup, the military coup that attacked Igbo coup. Zogu is not an Igbo man. His mother is an Hausa man, and he's from Delta. He's not an Igbo person, you know, but they all have told what is Igbo, you know. So we have suffered. There's no two way about it. But the truth is that if you are destined and God has prepared you for a place, the only thing any common sense person will do is to, if you see a gift, if you bless that gift, God will bless you more and send you more. If you see a gift, and you reject the gift, you are only underdoing yourself.
Now, I want you to put out, is there any personal story or experience that yourself, personally, that you could share that affected you simply because of that?
You don't need to go too far away. If you recall, if you follow the news clearly, I think 1985 or 88, by Concord newspaper, I was voted as number 1 businessman by Concord. Dangote was number 2. Compare my wealth with Dangote today. Dangote can write one check and buy everything I have, and I'm not anywhere. There are privileges that people enjoy. Import license, Femi Odutola at a time had to import only himself had license to bring diesel into this country. Nobody create monopoly for you that you cannot become a multi-billionaire. I don't want to begin to mention them. So let's not get into that. There are things we do. What we are looking for as an Igbo people, we are not asking you give us special favor. We are asking you give us a level playing field.
Yes.
If we succeed, we succeed. If we don't succeed, we don't succeed. We are not asking any preferential treatment. Put us on the field. Let's go and play ball. If I am the best player, take me.
Simple.
Don't tell me that I must bring somebody from Sokoto, I must bring somebody from Ijebu, I must bring somebody from Anambra. Then if somebody did something wrong, if you punish somebody from Sokoto, you must punish another 2 people from Anambra. This federal character is the problem. Create a level playing field so that the best of us could come out. Am I saying there's no good people there are many first-class brain in the northern part of Nigeria and in other part of this country who will excel. But until we have a country that is based on equity and best brain, we will never make any progress as a nation. It's not about preference of where you come from. I'm not asking for any preferential treatment. What I need is a level playing field.
What do you think happened to Ibeto?
Well, all I said is what we need is a level playing field. I don't want to be...
His Igbo-ness happened to him. His Igbo-ness happened to him.
Whether you like it or not, I've told you that we have suffered as people who lose war. Okay? Because I'm talking to a media now and I had to be very careful. Because recently, it's important I say this. Recently, I was talking to, what is his name? Sheon. And the topic and the subject is about Nigerian children jumping abroad. And we got to a point on that discussion. I said, well, all this japa syndrome, nothing is good in this country. I don't believe in it. Please don't curse this country. And I still say it with all my spirit and heart. I am one of the persons who believe it could be better. But I do not believe that this is a useless country. Such language will never cross my mouth. I don't believe it and I will never say it. And I told those who believe it, you can as well leave. Because once you have agreed in your heart that this is useless and worthless, it will never be good for you. You are taken to captivity by the words of your mouth and you are justified by the words of your mouth.
Even with the situation happening.
Even with the situation happening, it could be better, but it's not the worst place in the earth. That's my belief. Okay. Now, in the process of this discussion, I said, if Peter had become our president, he would remove subsidy. Day one also, he would remove subsidy. But the difference is, what will he do with subsidies money? Will he take it for poverty alleviation? Will he take it to go and buy a private jet? Will he squander it? The answer is no. And Sheon carve out this story. The topic on the news, which even Arise Television discussed, is that Dr. Maduka said Peter would not have done anything different. It was like I was comparing Tinubu and Peter. That's the danger of saying things with the medias, because you can be misconstrued and things. Why should I compare light and darkness? Why should you compare what exists and what does not exist? On what basis will I be comparing our current president Tinubu with Peter? Am I going to be comparing them that both of them have been governors before? And what happened in Lagos State or what happened in Anambra State? So I'm not comparing the two people. I'm just making a statement. But the media, because they're able to capture them, and they said, Dr. Maduka said, Tinubu, Peter will not have done different. And he put me in a bad light for many of the Peter's followers. Because even Ashia discussed the matter and didn't even know my relationship with Peter on one-to-one. But I'm not a controversial person. I'm a business person and I want to remain as a businessman. But I tell young people in this country, don't curse the country. Keep hope alive. A man or a woman that lose hope will submit to suicide. When you don't have hope for existence, you can easily take your life. But keep hope alive. It could be better. God is not making a mistake. All of this we are going is through phase of maturing as a nation. All of those mistakes will come into our history. But don't say that this country can never be redeemed. It's beyond redemption. It's irredeemable.
Yeah.
It's a wrong statement.
And some people believe that the best way to redeem it is just to divide the country. That's the best way to redeem it.
Well, if that's the best way to redeem it, time will prove it, and I will tell you it will be done, and it will be done without knife and gun and bullet. It's about civilized people sitting down and said, how do we further make progress? Because it's all about progress. We will get to a point where people need to sit down and ask themselves honest question. Have we truly made progress?
Some people just don't want to, whether they are making, people know we're not making progress, but they insist on making just remain for the few people, selected individuals. So,
okay, so the people to blame is the generality of Nigeria.
Can it be the generality of Nigeria or those?
No, generality of Nigeria, because the politicians, whether it is the Igbo politicians or the Hausa politicians or the Yoruba politicians, these people we are talking about is less than 5,000 people that take all of us for a jugular.
Yes.
It's just for us who doesn't have common sense. If we have common sense, we will put them to where they belong.
With their bullets and guns.
But if you are not willing to make a sacrifice, you can't make omelette without breaking egg. Check what happened in Egypt. Somebody had to put himself on fire for the revolution to happen. What happened in France? The young people here have given up in the country. That's why they are taking them for a ride. When you move out to go, how many of you would they kill? If I'm a young man, maybe I would have led a revolution.
Seriously.
How many would they kill? They will kill 1,000 or they will kill 100,000. If you need to pay price for the other people, if you don't pay price, generation unborn for aeons of years will hold us responsible that in our generation we did nothing. If they kill 5,000 Nigeria, the whole country will change. That will be the end of all this mess.
Yes.
But 5,000 have paid the price to redeem 200 million people. But 200 million people say, let 5,000 people do with us whatever they like. They like the shit in our head, we eat their shit. And we are happy with it. Or we leave the country for them. And they are happy. You think they are going to release power for free? You are joking. This is their life. They've lived in it. These young people need to take their destiny in their own hand and say, we have had enough of this.
Where the problem is the division they have created with the bigotry, tribalism.
At the end of the day, was bread cheaper in Lagos than it is in the north?
You cannot accurately fight without...
No, let's take a look at it. It's about common sense. Look at the economy. Whatever you say, the same way they are selling bread in the east, they are selling it in the north, they are selling it in the south. So the economy today is hard on anybody. These guys, when they want to get the election, they tell you are not a Christian, you are not a Muslim, and they tell you you are Hausa, you are Igbo. Once they get there, when they are sharing money, their religion doesn't count, their tribe doesn't count, their ethnicity doesn't count, because they are partners in crime. When they come to the point of looting the treasury, nobody is Hausa, nobody is Igbo. The Igbo man and the Hausa man is sharing money. So it's only politicians that benefit from the whole thing. So the really thing you need to do is to know that these are your enemies. They are supposed to be your friend, but they are not your friend. So, but when you start fighting ordinary Yoruba man, fighting ordinary Hausa man, fighting ordinary Igbo man, they are distracting you. They are the people who are playing koso with your life. And you let them do that.
Do you think the major force is coming from the colonialists that are creating all the force and trying to ensure they install puppets?
All I know is that the young people need to take their destiny in their hand. How do you go to school? Somebody educated you and impoverish you. These guys that go out to kidnap people. Don't they know when they get them, they will kill them? Why don't you use that mind for positive things and said, we need to confront these people. We put them in the office and they are accountable to us. And I'm asking you, how many would they kill? How many would they kill? I'm not saying they will not kill anybody. Those guys running away from the toll gate was the worst mistake they did.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, they should have stood there.
That very day,
that day, and dare those people for the once and for all.
Wow.
Once and for all. The oppressors know the game, they understand it. Once they did that and they know you are afraid of it, then they will never leave. What they know is themselves and their family.
Yes.
They will never change. So I am 66. I'm going to be 70 in 4 years. I'm 67 this year. Okay? So another 14, 13 years, I'm 80 years. It has passed our own time. But if I'm 18, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, you think I will not do anything? With the life I live, we're coming up, I would have done something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now there have been many debates online with people talking about, some will say you're a millionaire, some will say you're a billionaire. Are you a dollar billionaire?
It does not matter. What is more important is that I'm successful. Whatever, the difference between a man who has $100 billion and $1 billion is very minor, it's only on management. The same thing, the difference between one who has 100 billion naira and 1 billion naira is about management, how you manage. The quantity of money you have is immaterial. What is immaterial is that you're able to pay your bills and meet all your needs. Success is relative for me, you know. So I never for one day envy Aliko Dangote. He's my friend. I call him on the phone, but I never one day want to be like him. And I'm not saying being him is bad. But success is relative. By any measure, any standard, anywhere in the world, I'm a successful man. There are not many, a lot of billionaires in America. But any man in America that have $1 million is a successful person. He's highly respected. So I don't just have $1 million. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. So why am I counting whether it is 1 billion or 2 billion? I'm already successful.
No,
this one is the trouble in the mind of other people, not the trouble for me.
It's because when they list the billionaires, they always say that there is no Igbo man there. That is one of the.
It does not matter whether we are there or not. What is important is that today I can say all of the other people who are bigger than me, let them show who they are. At least I can tell you today, on only one of my company, I have 2,700 people that collect salary every day, every month. And quite a number of them who live in their own house. So you can never write the history of this country and take me out. I've made my mark, whether anybody like it or not. In fact, when he thinks about natural honor and all of the people say, I told him I never contest for anything. And I don't want an honor that I do not deserve. I would rather lose an honor that I deserve than to buy an honor. But I paid my dues in this country. Among my contemporary who has the same background I have, there may be maybe one or two. There are not many that are this, because success is not measured by the position you attain in life. Success is measured by the obstacle you overcome to get to where you are. What did you do? If you are my son, let me put it, let me not, people don't get angry. And then you are driving well, so people cry for you that you drive a Rolls Royce. What would you have been driving if you don't drive it? What we are saying is that where did you come? What obstacles did you overcome to get to where you are? And that's why, whether you're a rich man's child or not, you need to, the burden and responsibility is on you to show, regardless of your father's wealth, that you have something to offer. That's correct.
Personally.
Yeah, personally. Because if your father can pay your school fees, he didn't read book for you. You need to read book now. You need to show you have sense to pass your book. So if I'm a rich man's child, if I go to school, what I will target is to come out there with distinction. So that my father know that his school fees is not all that is important. His school fees didn't give me distinction. Distinction is my common sense, the hard work I made, the discipline I kept myself, sleepless night, and hard work that got me there. So he know I also have something to put there. So because otherwise his success will be overshadowing whatever I do. So if you ever tell me, hey, you self, you follow complain, your father pay your school fees, I said, but my father didn't give me distinction. I earned my distinction. I work for it. So there are things you still do, regardless whether you are born in a wealthy man's family or not. You know.
Now, do you think poverty will teach someone better in life?
Of course.
To Harvard?
Absolutely.
How?
Because I simply explained to you that you don't grow in a comfort zone. Any man, let me even go back to the Bible. Bible says Jesus learned obedience through the things they suffer. This thing people call suffering gives sense.
Seriously?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you are hungry, you will invent how to eat.
Are you serious?
You become an you start inventing something. That's why in real life, children that were born in affluent family always stand on the gap. They don't really dear life. But children that were born in a poor family, because they are already on the ground, they have no other place to fall. He that is on the ground, he has no fall. So they are more daring to life to really take a chance in life. If you look at the way children in average family were grown, the parents goaded them, doted them with money. Even though many of them are preoccupied by their financial challenges, they never really show love to those children. As the children are growing up and getting there, they start doting them with more money to buy their love. The next thing they said, be careful, we have left word for you. Don't squander it. So those children really are afraid to take a chance in life, afraid to try, they're afraid to fall, to make mistake, because they think they will become an object of laughter. But if you are coming from background where nobody know you, if people are laughing, what does it mean? You can laugh at growing up, people were laughing at me. If my grammar is as bad as it is, you need to know what it was 40-something years ago, where I used cutlass to cut it. And I stand up and people are laughing. And I continue to speak more, because practice makes perfect in everything. As more you are laughing,
the more you are practicing.
Okay, I used to say it was Worcester. There's too many things I said. And I felt English people are very complicated. But that confidence had helped me today with my third grade education. I've served in 2 public quoted banks in Nigeria. Access Bank was the last one as the chairman of credit committee for 12 years. With my third grade education, I've attended Harvard Business School. Yes, I met Leo Stan Eke and his wife there, Erufai and Pat Otomi. We're in the same class with my third grade education. Because I'm ready to dear life. So if all I'm afraid is that people are going to reach, and you never ask them their contribution and my own in that school. Because what are we discussing? The case study we studied was how Compact fell and HP took it over. It's business cases. The things I'm doing every day was what they are studying in Harvard.
Can imagine.
So you can imagine what I contribute there.
So if there was another life for you, would you like to be born in a rich man's home or poor man's home?
I would say maybe in middle class, not really poor, the one where I have to eat rat and eat not the one I'm covering, not poor. Yeah, I ate rat, I ate lizard to succeed. No, I would like middle class, but not wealthy. I find it in the middle where I can still have to make effort because that luxury and comfort has a way to deprive you.
So that means you would have preferred at least middle class.
Yeah, middle class.
Why? Does it mean that if the way you come out poor is more different, you would have done better if you were in the middle class?
Of course, if my mother could have afforded I have first class brain. I would have gone to school and I will have a distinction. And there are still many things I've lost today for not going to school. That's correct. Some people have taken advantage of me not going to school, even in my growing up. That's true. So you cannot totally ignore education and say it's useless. It's very important.
Many companies now even hire people without even education.
Well, I don't know about that. If you are working for us today, you have education, because if you are going to work with computer, you cannot work with your ingenuity. That's where your ingenuity is important, but we do not, we try to balance it. But we can, if you don't have a degree, if you can't express yourself, we can't even hire you.
But if people look at you in that manner, would they have given you a job, or would they have given you opportunity if you say someone has to be able to have a degree?
Nobody gave me a job. I did apprenticeship. I worked 6 years without salary, pro bono. Anybody who did that today will succeed. Will you be willing to do that? If I give you a job without paying you for 6 years, will you do that? If you do that, Robert Kiyosaki said, don't work for money, work to learn. You need to be mentored and tutored. It's the best university you can go. If you did apprenticeship, capital play less than 40% in the equation of somebody's success. Knowledge you have on what you are doing play more important part on your part of success. That's why there are many degree holders that cannot put food on the table. So it's not about the impeccable in grammar you speak. You need to organize that thought into productivity and deploy yourself for it to be meaningful to you.
Now, what is the number one trait you see in someone that you can say this person is going to be successful, or this person is not going to be successful?
I won't call it a trait. I was just said, what is it that excites you about people? I love people who are hard work. People who are purposeful driven. Life is about fulfilling a purpose. We are not just born to eat food and die. So when I see an individual that is very intentional in what he do, you could be a traffic warden. There are many traffic warders you see. You know there's a difference between this traffic warden. You could see the excitement on which he's passing traffic. Yes. He's enjoying what he's doing. He's not doing it with frustration. Because you can't make progress in things you are doing suffocating. That in itself attracts people, love and like for him, because he's enjoying his job. So I like people who, when I see people who are that open-minded, I just say, watch this one. He will go places in life. Because you are controlling traffic today does not mean you are going to control traffic for the rest of your life. But you have one life to live. If that person moves into an office, he will have that same mindset and things. He's a product of future that will go places. So I don't call it a threat, but I call it an ingenuity that I see in people, and be able to identify somebody who is very purposeful and who will go places in life.
Do you think God created everybody to be successful?
Absolutely.
So that means, but even the Bible said they are the poor you will always have with you. Do you think there are people that God said you have to end up poor in your life?
What is your definition of poor?
Living low life like you started in your own life.
Okay, so please check your Western dictionary. Poor is not referring to people who lack. Poor refers to people who are unproductive. Yeah, poor does not mean you don't have money. Poor means you are not productive. That's the definition of dictionary about poor. So if you are ready to work hard, I've seen people who are blind, but they are richer than people who are working. My brother-in-law, my wife, immediate senior brother, is blind. He went to school. He's a lecturer. He lived in his own house. He had children. He had a wife. He doesn't want you to sympathize to him that it is. So sometimes I say, Sunday, are you sure you don't see? Because people don't know that the way God creates people, anything you lack in life, God gives you something to compensate for it. When you cannot see, your smelling is sharper. There are 5 senses God puts to somebody.
Yes.
The first time I started wondering, this man can see. The first thing they pull you close like this, he didn't know you have a body odor, but he smelled it. So once he get close to you, he called your name. I said, this man must be seeing. He does not see. But because your other senses are dull, because your eyes can see. When you cannot see, your other senses are sharpened. People like me, because initially, growing up till the age of 11, 12, I cannot write. My retentive memory is sharper. There's nothing I discussed with you 40 years ago. If you put it like this, I just opened the chapter in my brain. The one in my brain is better than the one you have in your note, because he recorded. So that, because I couldn't make note to start looking for where I made note, I made those notes in my brain. So people just underrate themselves, but God made everybody to be successful. Whether you are successful or not depends on your attitude, approach you have to life, to those things that God has made. I believe everybody can be successful.
Wow. So
yes.
Because some people believe that maybe they have been destined to.
No, there's no. That's the thing. Okay, what do you understand as destiny? Let me explain destiny to you. Because those are, I go to people's church, they start songs, destiny changer, come and change my destiny. When they get there, I keep quiet. I don't sing that song. And some people are asking me, I said, why do I ask my destiny? I like my destiny. Why do you want it to change?
It is you that like your own destiny. What if they don't like their own?
Okay, so if you don't like it, you change it.
And that's why they are singing Destiny Changer.
Okay, so nobody will change it. They have to change it.
Themselves.
Not
God will come and change.
No. Because God gave them power over everything. And I will explain. Destiny is like two clever young boys who believe they know everything. And then there's an ancient man in their village that is like an oracle who can tell you history about your life, interpret it. So these two young boys said, for the first time, we are going to make a fool out of this man because he thinks he knows too much. They went and got a bird, a small bird, and hid it in their bag. And met the ancient man and said, we come for mystery solving. We have a bird in our bag, and we just want you to tell us whether this bird is alive or dead. And they started giggling, because in their mind, the man will fail. If he said the bird is alive, they will squeeze the bird and show him a dead bird. If the man said the bird is dead, they will show him the bird that is alive, so that they will see his flesh. So they were laughing. The ancient man also started laughing. He said, why are you laughing? He said, no, we're all laughing. He said, okay, tell us whether this bird is alive or dead. The old man said, whether this bird is alive or dead is up to you.
Wow.
If you like, kill it. Because that is destiny. If you can read book, you've gone to school, and your father can pay your school fees, and you want to read medicine, you are a destined doctor. Whether you become doctor or not is up to you. Has nothing to do with your father. Because you can go to school and join renegades and run around all the round, play with all the girls or all the boys. At the end of 8 years, you will not graduate. Your father is not the person that didn't make you graduate. You refused to graduate. Let me give you another destination of destiny, what it looked like. An ancient man, a young man went to an ancient man and said, can you tell me what my future look like? The ancient man circled around a rebel and got a millipede. You know what is millipede? Esu. And put it on the ground and said, if this thing, it circle two circle, one black, one white. He said, if this thing crawl into this white one, your future is very bright. If you crawl into this black one, you are doomed for life. And the young man sit down. We are looking at the thing. The thing getting to the edge of the white thing. It started moving. Started coming here, move again, going to the white one. By the time he get to the edge of the black one, the young man took his hand, grabbed it and said, this is where I belong. That's what destiny is all about. You have to do something. They've already told you that if you go here, you will die. And you stay back and hold your hand and allow it to enter there.
I mean, you do something.
Tell me where I'm going to die so that I will not go there. Destiny is about, if you accept the Lord Jesus Christ, you will be saved through the life of Christ. If you reject him, you are dead. And you said, you are waiting to know whether you are destined. Your choice is your destiny. The choice you make, decide where you go. Did you think God was foolish to make man a free moral agent? When he gave you choice and said, life and death I set before you. So it's the choice and decisions you made that shows what your destiny is. And when people are looking for who to blame, that's the age we are living in, an age of irresponsibility. Black man blame a white man for his predicamism. And everybody look for, but children blame their parents. Parents blame their children. Husband blame his wife. Wife blame his husband. This is the age where people are so irresponsible and want to blame every other person for what goes wrong in their life.
So that means if anything happens outside, anybody should take responsibility.
Of course, because everything you need to become a superstar is not outside of you. God put it in you when you are born. Nothing more you need outside of you. You need to look inward. There's no ungifted man. God never created anybody that is not gifted. Even a man or a woman with impediment of sight. Look inside. That's why there are people who cannot see, but their music is going all over the world. They can sing. Because they don't have sight does not mean they don't have voice. There's something God put in you that if you look inside and put into work, you will become a superstar. But it's easy to accept.
To blame
I am misfortune. I have one lay hand. Therefore, I cannot do anything. So my job now is to beg for food because I have one lame hand. So there are people who take those difficulties as virtue because they use it to blame. The man that was blind said, "Oh, Jesus of Nazareth, have mercy on me." The people say, shut up, you are making noise. Bible says he cried loud the more. Because all of you can see. I've never seen. And you're telling me to keep quiet. It's you that have a need. You should cry out for that need. Until his voice oversaw the crowd and got the attention of Jesus. And Jesus said, "What would you that I do unto you?" You know, if the blind man doesn't have sense, he would have said, "Are you also blind? Don't you know I'm blind?" But Jesus wants you to say what you want him to do with your mouth. The blind man said, "That I might receive my sight." Jesus said, "Now you can see." You need to have a desire in your life. God cannot, you need to have plans for yourself and then you bring it under the feet of cross. But you can't sit down, live a prayerless life and say things are going wrong in your life and nobody can help you and all of that. What did you do? What effort have you made?
But you believe
listen, God put 5 billion cells. Go and Google it. It's what is in your brain. You've never used 12% of it. If you hit 14%, you become a genius. Because he made a man in his own image. The things that make him God is what he put in a man. God was not making mistake. When he called his 2 children, bless them. That's the thing parents should do to their children. But after that, you make a demand on them. Genesis 1:26 was God's vision for mankind. Let me make man in my own image. But after that, he wrote his mission statement, how man can be in his image in Genesis 1:28. To be fruitful, to multiply the fruitfulness, to replenish the fruitfulness, to subdue the earth and to dominate. When you do that, you become God. So God never gave a man underwear, not even cloth, but he gave him a tree with a wool on it. God never gave a man shoe. He gave a man a cow. So that the man should not just look at cow. He could see a leather in a cow and make a shoe. Because that's how you become like God. You are multiplying, you are dominating. You don't look at a tree and just see a tree. You see a wood, you can make a shear. If you want a bed, you make a bed. If you want a cloth, you see the wool and take the wool and the cotton and make a cloth. Then you become like God. You are adding value. You are creative. God created, and God make man a God on the earth to create. But what man cannot do for himself, God did for you. You can't create land, God give you land. You can't create animal, God give you animal. You can't create bird and God give you tree. But you should look beyond the things you are seeing and see how you can add value on it. So he said, when you do these things, when you must be fruitful, God came and said, be fruitful. It's a command on a potential. I put something in you, bring it out.
But do you believe that God created human beings for a purpose?
Yes, of course.
Good. Don't you think that it's possible for God to create a particular human being and said, your purpose is to be poor for me to achieve a certain goal?
No.
Okay.
Because that cannot make him a fair God.
Okay.
Remember, God is just. God is just.
Let me give you an example.
God is just and fair. So it can be. When I was growing up, I've also had this thinking you have. It's like small children thinking. I had it one time. Everything that's sweet is good. Everything that is bitter is very bad. When I grew up, I find out that many things that are sweet kill people, and many things that are bitter give people life.
Why? How?
Oh, you didn't know?
Describe.
Okay, please continue to take Fanta every day. Drink it. You are inviting diabetes in your life. You will get it. But please, eat bitter cola. It's very bitter, but it enhances and energizes part of your life. There are many things that are sweet that are not good for you, but there are many things that are bitter. If it's not bitter, actually, it will not cure you. So God have balances in all of these things in life. Let me further expand by letting you know that many things we think the way we think it is not exactly the way it is. In God's infinite wisdom and mercy, He created us for His own purpose. If you want to know the reason why God created a man, the motivation of a man creation is to have a manager. Nothing come to flourish until man came into existence. Go and read your Bible. Genesis 1 was the act of God, but the action of it is Genesis 2. Genesis 5, the earth is filled with rock. And there was no rain. Why? Read it now. Because there was no man to till the ground. God is looking for man. So once man was born, it rained. And man had to begin to put beauty. God put the first son he made and put him in the garden to dress it, to protect it. That means man was to walk. Work is motivation of God for creating a man. Because man is here to continue to expand the earth, the creation of God, through his children, mankind. But many people have taken a walk to be a curse. Walk came in the Bible before the fall. Walk was in existence before fall. So you need to apply yourself. A real man is not a man who goes to walk and come back and keep a bottle of beer in the front of television. When you don't deploy yourself, people will employ you. There's nothing wrong for people to work.
But can I give an example?
But there's nothing wrong for people to work. But salary doesn't make many people rich. Salary is a medicine for poverty, but it does not cure it. If you are diabetic, you can put insulin every day in your life. You will live a normal life. But if you go out of insulin, your disease comes. That's what salary is. So nobody should plan his life on a salary. It's okay if you are earning it. But when you go home in the evening, don't stop WhatsApping message and sit in the front of TV with a bottle of beer. That's the time to begin to deploy yourself. Because your job will never make you wealthy. What will make you wealthy is your work. Your work is what you are born to do. The gift God put you here for mankind. When you deliver it to people, they will reward you with money and then you become wealthy. But if you go to job, the man who you work for decide your value, what your salary is. But when you put your gift into work, that man is not in control anymore because your gift will begin to give answer to himself.
Now, if today you are 25 and you have to start over again, what will be your first move?
If I'm 25 and I'm trying to start all over again, after graduating from school, I will do my, what do you call it? I will do my,
internship or which one?
Not internship, the youth corp, okay?
Service,
and be sure I'm done with the education. If I am born in this generation. The next thing is that I will look for opportunity for work. If I cannot get work, if somebody can still sponsor me, I'll go and do my master. The worst thing you do is to waste any time in your life, because your time is your life. From when I was born, I'm conscious of time, from when I have sense. Because according to the book of Job 14 verse 5, the day you are born, you are in a timer. God set a time which any of us will not pass. Whether you are 16 or 60 or 61. If you do not know why you are born and start operating in that gift, when that time reach, you're cut off. Jesus lived 33, but he fulfilled his assignment. Look at most of the disciples. None of them lived 70 years. But we will never stop talking about them because they fulfilled their time. So many, but in the day we live on it, we count, I am 100 years. I am 99 years. If you go to your Bible, you can find that only one verse statement is made about Methuselah. He lived 968 years and died. That's all. It's not the number of your age, it's the impact you made while you are alive, the time you have. So that the worst thing you can do to yourself is nothing. Because you ask me, what will I do? To sit back and say there's no job and you sit at home is the worst thing you can do to yourself. On my honor, I have met people, and I'm talking from experience, not out of intellectual conception. There is somebody that is playing an important role in our account today. He was a graduate, he didn't have a job, and he took a security job. We didn't know. It was in a process of, he's already working for us as a security that we knew that he was an accountant. And we moved him out of that place. Just imagine that he's in his house waiting for the accountant job to come. The worst thing you can do to yourself is nothing. If I don't have anything doing, I will come here at this level. I tell them, can I bring block up for you? Because the motivation to succeed must be in you. Nobody can teach you to be hungry. Hungry has to come instinctively. It doesn't matter how many cups of milk they put on the table. It doesn't make you hungry. If there's nothing in you craving for success, you will never succeed in life. And if there's something in you craving for success, nothing can stop you from succeeding. You may meet obstacles, but ultimately you will meet a success because you are desirous of it and of. Remember, the book of Psalms said, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desire of your heart. So the first thing comes from desire. What are you desiring? What do you really want to be in life? What kind of life do you want to live? Is that life you want to live in sync with the word of God? Can you line it up with the word of God in the Bible? Can it be Bible trace? Because you can say, hey, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. By how? What do you do to become a billionaire? There's nothing that is wrong that you want to be a billionaire. But how you don't use mouth to? That's why you go to some of these seminars and say, I am a millionaire 7 times. You say millionaire, after you say it, you are still as poor as you are. Because words doesn't create million. Million does not respond to words. There are things you need to do.
Now, if a young man today is born in Nigeria, or let me say a child is born in Nigeria today, and one born in America, which of them do you think has more potential to succeed faster?
Based on environment and depends on what you consider success is all about. Because many of us make mistake. Many times we believe that money is success. Money is not success. I've seen a lot of wealthy people that are not successful.
Wealthy.
They end up killing themselves. Money is not success. Beauty is not success. I don't know what you call success. Is a journey in my own definition. You never get to any place life you can say you succeeded until you get to heaven. You are in a journey of success. The many billionaires who became poor. How many times has Donald Trump filed bankruptcy? He's the president of America today. So go read your Bible. Anything you can see with your eyes is temporary. This building is temporary. Every one of us here is temporary. Anything you can see. The only thing that is internal is the things you cannot see with your eyes. And that's the word of God, where it comes from. But the real truth is that if it is having financial freedom, a boy that is born in America can get it easier than a child that is born in Nigeria. But that does not make him a successful person. Because you can have financial freedom that lead you into drug tomorrow. Because the more comfort you have in life, the more useless you are. All this LGBTQ and all of that is when people have eaten food. That's why you want to start sleeping with animals. If you are hungry, that will not be the first thing that should be bothering you. There are more important things that should be in your mind. So comfort also brings complexity.
Comfort has a way of making people misbehave.
Yes.
If your business was founded in America or China, would you have been more richer than you are today?
Well, let's be very honest. You cannot grow above the environment you find yourself. You are within the concept of an environment.
Yes.
But can I be honest to you, in today's world where we live, the world has becoming a global village. You can sit in the one corner of the village in Imo State or in Anambra State or in Billionaire in Sokoto and become a multi-billionaire. The world has gone through this is about the fourth or fifth industrial revolution that will happen. That's why I tell you, I cannot advocate for any young man now not to go to school. The first industrial revolution created millionaires. We have passed the age of billionaires. We are moving into the age of trillionaires.
Yes.
The AI information, the information technology, software, created multi-billionaires. But we are living that age. Young people today who take time to understand the language of AI, you don't need to open a shop now to own a company. And these are going to be the future trillionaires. People will create trillions of dollars. Okay, the time I started, if I started in US, because I have more capacity for purchase, I would have been richer. But there's nothing stopped me today. Yes, I'm in Nigeria. I own a company in Ghana. I own a company in Gabon. I own a company in Ivory Coast. I own a company in Sierra Leone. I've just bought a company in Japan about 4 years ago. I own a company in Japan. I earn salary in Japan. I have people working for me there. There's nothing that says you cannot set business anywhere you want to in the world today because of the globalization that we are facing into today. Yes, but there are limits that I could go based on the knowledge I have in my own age. And that's why I'm putting pressure on my children. You can take it to another level that I've never been. Because I grew up in analog age. Your age is digital. It's moving to another level. So if you follow the technology, many people get angry when we say we are going to live in tunnel. The natural people are breaking into that cycle today. The AI is beginning to do a surgery more precise than human being. They begin to grow an organ. They're beginning to predict people will live 150 years. People will live 200 years. And we are all laughing and saying it cannot happen. We are all laughing and saying it cannot happen. It may not happen again in our generation because of time has catch up to us. But about 70 or 80 years ago, there were predictions that people will stop traveling by air, by sea, that people will be flying. A bishop laughed, Bishop Wright, that these people are talking rubbish. that only angels fly. His 2 children were the first angel that fly. The Wright brothers, their father is a bishop. They discover the technology of airplane. The 4 laws that need to be broken for plane to go on. Till today, every aircraft, military one, everything are based on those 4 laws that those young boys discover. That's why I said, what God put here is 5 billion cells. We're operating only within 8 to 12% of it. If you get to 14%, you become a genius. But all that made him God is what is poured into you. If you get to where they are activated, part of the predictions people are saying today is that you will wear a contact lens in the future. That once I see you, I can read your mind. So the natural people are breaking into it. We keep on saying it's impossible. The Bible language is all things are possible. Those things we are talking that was like a story. Live another 50 years, you begin to see them to become a reality.
In this our Nigerian setting and in this current dispensation that we are now, do you think it's possible for anybody to become a dollar billionaire without government patronage or favoritism?
Why? It's overnight. Just put an idea in you that you created. There are quite a number of people who are doing things already that many people are not aware of because they are quiet. The world we are living today is about getting the right information with technology. You can, with no having anything to do with government, no patronage of any type. Yes, you can.
A policy that can affect it.
No, there are young boys today. Some of them are part of the company who register. They are in Nigeria, but their company is registered in United States of America. They are operated by American law. That's the part of the globalization I tell you. But they are here. But you cannot shut that business down because it's original. The foundation is registered in New York. So it's about ideas that you have on what is possible. Okay? So with the information technology, you really don't need a shop, a store to do business. You can just have a product that you can offer the people. Provide solution. I'm not talking about my case, but the guy that created Facebook, he doesn't need the approval of Nigerian government to do business here now. But Nigerians will subscribe to his business. He doesn't need the approval of Chinese to do business. If you have something you can sell to the world that you can put on there that catch up with the people, you sit down and billions will be dropping in your account, even as we are talking now. Okay, so when you start making digital money, so money will be dropping.
But the government will ban it.
Yeah, the government can ban it, but they ban it in one country that is another country because it's something that is done on globalization. Yeah, it's not something you do. You can run into problem if you are doing a construction company only in Nigeria. You are saying they can ban you, seize your things. There are where you reach, your government will begin to respect you.
Well, they said government policies in this country is not favorable to many entrepreneurs. That is why growing a business in this place is quite
it could be challenging. It could be challenging, but I tell people if you run business successful in this country, you are an expert. There's no other country where you cannot run business. It's more difficult here. So it's better to learn from a difficult place.
Now, what do you think the churches are doing are wrong when it comes to shaping the minds of our youth to be able to achieve better in life?
We need to shape the mind of our youth and change it because our youth has been brainwashed on a negative side.
How?
A lot of their parents has fed them with a lot of Nigeria home movie, where you have to drink blood to become wealthy, where people are killing each other and bring dead box and go and wash in a mortuary. There are many young people today that you are telling you can do. Please tell me through. What did you do?
Yes.
Please tell me through. What did you do? So, in other words, this you are talking is a cock and bull story. Who did this for you? Which ritual? So they don't believe that you can work hard anymore to make money. That's the thing we need to bring. We need to wash that trash out of their mind. And they are looking for young girls that will cut their breasts or cut their private part to be able to go and make money because those are things that they have been sold into. But you can get up today, and there are many young people today. I started my business with 200 Naira in 1976, where people are starting with 20,000, 200,000, 50,000, and I succeeded against all odds. Dr. Nuzo says something that many people will not have heard today, that God does not waste resources. An average Nigerian don't know that and do not understand it. But I can show you from the Bible. He took 2 fishes and 5 roes to feed 5,000. After they have eaten, he said, pick the crops on the ground. What are you doing with the crop on the ground? Only 2 fish you have given 5,000. What are you doing with the crop? God does not waste his resources. He managed them. So, even though he's a God of abundance, but he does not, if you become a Christian and you are well schooled, you will be learn financial discipline, how to deploy resources.
But the challenge there is that we are so religious in this part of the world, but we have so many poor people.
We are so religious because the religious people have not taught people the correct means to create wealth. They talk about spirituality, and some of them tell them things that not exist. If you say my is bigger than my own, you will get a rat tomorrow. Where is my rat coming from? Somebody's money enter your account. You should return it to the owner. Who is putting the money there? We need to teach people how to be diligent in our work, and that God will bless our effort, and taught people what to do, how to learn integrity, how to learn processes that open door. You know, many people, if you ask young man, any average young man now, to tell you what is money, the first definition they tell you is cash. Money is not cash. There are 5 levels of money. And the least level of money is what you call cash.
Break them down.
The first level of money is what we call credibility. You can make a note on it. Credibility is things you do on a constant basis over a period of time that is recorded, that people can trace to. And then people can say, this is who this person is. Credibility is the first level of money. The second level of money is what we call credible relationship. Credible relationship. You don't have cash, but you have me. And I can avail my credibility to you. If you go to Coscharis today, the cheapest car we sell is Chinese car, which is 32 million. If you ask us to give it to you, and in 2 weeks you will pay, you know we will not give it to you because we don't have record of your credibility. Okay. But if Dangote call us and say you are in our place and we should let you go with Range Rover, which is 450 million, or Rolls Royce, which is 1.4 billion, that you will pay in 2 weeks. And he knows you, if you didn't pay, he will pay. Do you think we'll let you go with the car?
Fast.
We will. Why? Because Dangote gave his word. He availed his credibility to you. You don't have it, but somebody availed it to you. You don't have cash, but you have somebody who can give you his credibility. That's another level of money. And that's why I tell young people, if a rich man gives you cash, he has cheated you. What you need is access. Let him keep his door open for you, that you can call him and he pick your call. Because that can put billions in your account, not 50,000 or 100,000 or 1 million naira. What you need from a wealthy man is access. So the first level of money is credibility. Second level of money is credible relationship. The third level of money is one of the most scarce commodity in Nigeria. And you can only make profit in a product that is not available. And that is called integrity. It's not in plenty supply. Not many places you can see it.
True.
So what is integrity? Integrity is not what you will do when people know. Integrity is what you will do if you know there's no way it can ever be discovered, nobody can find out what you did, and you still choose to do the right thing. That's my definition of integrity.
Wow.
The fourth level of money is what we call character.
Is character and integrity different?
They're different. Character is the foundation of any man's life, any woman's life. If this building wall crack, the Metipesa will say repair it. If the roof reared, but if foundation has problem, they will say bring this building down. Character is a foundation of leadership. Character is not what many people understand it to be. That's why God is character. Why is God character? Because he's holy. The word holy refers to God. Character is like alphabet. 2 is 2 in Japan, in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, in China. It doesn't become 3 in China. By 2 a.m., character is a statue like Victoria. It does not say, oh, this sun is too hot. Let me go in the shade. It doesn't say, oh, the rain is coming, typhoon is coming. Let me run under the table. You come there by 2 a.m. standing there. Any man or a woman that have a character will be successful and will make wealthy. But it doesn't come easy. Character is also very scarce. The fifth level of money is what we call competence. You got to know what you are doing. It's not just enough to speak in tongue. It's not just enough to pray. Because some prayers we are making is useless. You pray in a miss. When you are not doing the correct thing, you need to be competent. You need to be properly schooled. That's why people need to give themselves mentor. The last and the least level of money, everybody understands what money is cash. Anybody who you see that have money and they doesn't have these 5 things is a thief. He stole the money.
Chai. Damn. Damn. Are you serious?
Because money is an exchange for a value. So if you have it and there's no value you delivered to get it, you stole it. That's why I don't respect many people. No matter how much money they have, I don't envy them. I don't feel excited about them. I don't feel terrific because they cannot show the means with which. That's why I don't respect a lot of people with all depth of sincerity.
I love the character part and the integrity you talked about. Now, for you, since you started your business to becoming this wealth that you are, has there been any unethical deal that was offered to you that you rejected?
Of course.
Can you give us some examples?
Of course.
Share some.
Okay. Let me share the most recent one. Not current governor of Plateau State, but the one before, wanted us to supply vehicles. And we deliver vehicles. And they wanted me to inflate invoices of vehicle of 40 million to write 80 million. I told them I don't do it.
Seriously?
Yes, of course.
It's government.
I said, sorry, I don't do it.
Wow.
They say, if you don't do it, you don't have business. I said, okay, good luck. I left.
You leave the money.
Somebody else had to buy those cars and inflated the invoice. He bought it from us and pay us at our own invoice. I cannot launder money for you. And they did it. So you can't. There are many of them. Have you had that any senator come to buy motor from us or House of Assembly? Even when they bought Range Rover, share them, but they can't buy from us because we will write the amount, we sell it in the invoice.
Are you serious?
So therefore, they can't buy from us. They have to go through third party. They even don't know we are the brand representative, we are the agent. Why would the business not come to us? So there are many things you suffer. But let me even tell you, growing up as a young man, because I cannot tell you I've never been in a situation of vulnerability. After my boss settled me, I was still struggling. I wouldn't say I'm a rich man, but struggling in my struggling phase. I came to Lagos. I went to Apapa Road to buy some, not Apapa Road, Krikri Road. They come one Ilemobala. Ilomobola was not there, but his wife was there. His boy that was working for him, we go there to buy goods. I finished buying what I have. As I was about to leave, the boy told me, oh, I added something. I said, what is it? He said, 200 cess engine valve CD 175. I said, but I didn't buy it. I didn't check it. He said, I say it's in your goods. He said, okay, just give me 200 naira. On my honor, 20 naira, I count 10, I gave him. I was about to take the next step. My leg was heavy. My head was heavy. I said, come, sorry. I didn't come here for this, and I don't do this. Can you give me back my money? Take the valve. He said, no. You are going to implicate me. No, please. I said, please. He said, I said, if you don't give me this 200 naira, now you have implicated yourself. If you don't want any implication, give me back this 200 naira. I cannot take this valve. I didn't come here for this. Some other trader said, no worry, let's go. When we get out there, we'll give you the money, you give us the valve. I said, no, because I would have added what is going wrong. He need to take this valve back to his master's shop and give me my 200 naira. So you can be vulnerable. You can get away, but did you make it right? So I insisted. The boy continued to argue. I went to the woman, I went her. The wife told me that his husband didn't trust me, put this boy to be looking after him. This boy. So the boy denied. We started looking for him. I put hand inside his socks. I saw my 200. Because I told the woman that is 20 naira into 10. I put hand there and bring the money out. I purged myself with it. Yeah, you have been in a position where I almost did it. But this was even in my growing phase. Because that valve would have instantly put 600 naira profit in my hand. Because the correct price is being sold is at 15, then it sold it like at 10% of its value. So
I guess this is why maybe you're not getting lots of government patronage, maybe because of the fact that you have to write it the way you want to. But what about, how do you now describe the part where if government tries to make you exclusive, give you exclusive access or exclusive person to be doing a particular thing? Is that corruption or that's good?
Well, it all depends where the whole thing. If you said during the All Africa game, I deliver about 1,000 units of BMW with which they did the game. But you can also say, how did it happen? If I don't get involved in corruption, maybe you think it's corruption. No. Everybody wants to sell car to the government. I went to make a proposal to government. I said, everything that they bring to this country for the game has a duty waiver. Give me a duty waiver. I'll provide you a vehicle to do the game. If you like, I will sell the vehicle to you without duty, and I'll get manufacturers to give discount. That was during Obasanjo. And Peugeot was so confident that they would get the business. But as a businessman, I knew there's an offer you cannot refuse. Toyota wanted to do the business. Everybody wanted to do the business. So it's a question of who has the financial muscle. And I put an offer that make me relevant. Because if you come offering whatever other people are offering, nothing that makes you special. So it became like a trouble. Obasanjo called a meeting, called Peugeot, and said, Coscharis has offered us to give us car. Will you do the same thing? He said, no, we cannot do the same thing. How will we do that? You have to pay us. Obasanjo said, sorry, we don't have 4 billion naira to buy a car. Coscharis, go and supply the car.
Wow.
They gave us duty waiver, even though government reneged on their own terms on it. But we did the business successful. We were on that one shop, we were able to put 1,000 BMW into the market to give people a test drive. So you must have ingenuity, have financial capacity to be able to negotiate a better deal for yourself, take some financial risk, and if you can see through it how to mitigate it, then you can create businesses.
I think this is what stands out is about having financial ingenuity and understanding business negotiations. So you're able to break it free. Yeah. So some people will just have a personal, they will just block away some other people and just say,
I like competition. And the only man, I don't even believe I have competitor. The only man I consider a competitor is a man who thinks like me. If your thinking process does not align with my own, you can't compete with me. So many times people think I'm competing with them. No, you can only compete with me when you start thinking like me.
What are the top 3 things you think Nigeria should fix in order to start producing more millionaires like
we should
China
fix
and other
we
places?
should number one, we should fix is our judicial system, where this is the highest law court that exists in the world, where people can have confidence that if anything go wrong, I will seek redress. Nigerian government should ask people, why did big multinationals are all leaving this country? Why are they leaving? Because many of them cannot seek redress. They know they cannot get justice in our judicial system. Why are people here lighting agreement and said, if there's a controversy, we will discuss the matter in London court? Shouldn't we be concerned about it? So we need to fix our judicial system. Number one.
That's number one.
Key number one. And how to dispense with matter. Not 5 years, not 7 years in court, not 20 years, but have a business court where matter, the way it is in England, where matter can be discussed today, tomorrow, in 1 week, you get justice in business. Because nobody grow in isolation. You want to attract investment for people to bring in money into your country. These are things they look at. If I have a problem to go to court in Dubai, when will I get judgment? If I have a problem to go to court with a business partner in Nigeria, when will I get judgment? You just get injunction plus injunction plus injunction plus injunction. I have one case in court now that is 14 years. Somebody offended me. In 14 years is to get hearing. He has not get a hearing because there's injunction. And the person is doing his business every day.
It's government person.
So how many more years am I going to live?
Government person.
Whether it's government person or not, what I'm saying is that we need to fix our judicial. So that it's not that I'm casting aspiration to the. We need to fix it and really fix it well. Then we need to fix our electoral processes so that we can have confidence to go and vote and know that our vote will count. So that decent people will come out and run for election and know that they will get vote. You see, when I tell you that foundation of everything is character, you can never build on a wrong foundation. When the foundation is faulty, there's nothing that can stand on top of it. The whole thing will be dancing and will ultimately crumble. So we are building now on a wrong foundation. We need to get down and get to find the stone inside the ground and start laying our building on it. Then we can build and grow.
That's number 2.
That's number 2. Of course, number 3 is to have a transparent government system where we allow merit to be the order of the day. Equity, fairness, not where you come from or language you speak. To be a 2-1 nation, we want to get the best of us. The only place we play it when we want to play ball. We don't say bring one person from Anambra, bring one person from Imo, bring one person from Sokoto. And when we are going to hospital, we don't say we need to get me a doctor from Medugri and get me. No, you want the best doctor to attend to you, and you don't care where he is, who born him. You don't care which church he go. When we want to play a game, we want the best to represent us.
I think they still do that in football currently.
But when it comes for leadership, we don't want the best to lead us. We want to know where you come from, whether it's your turn.
So that is a big problem for us already.
Yes.
So now in our school system, now what do you think should be the best thing that schools should start?
Because if we want to be very honest, we will admit to ourselves that this thing we call democracy had not worked for us.
So what system should work for us?
It had no. How many successive government are you telling me that those people were the best people, the best brain we have in this country? We should be expecting our best brain. We should be expecting our best brain with moral, with character, with integrity, the best of everywhere, so we can earn respect of the world. Of course, we know it has not been the case. So let's not go there. Yeah.
In our education system, what do you think schools should stop teaching and what they should start teaching?
I'm not an educationist, so I don't know why you are asking me this question.
Maybe.
but once the fish spoil from the head, once we fix those three things you asked me, we will teach the right thing in the educational system. Because if we have the solid foundation where a good president emerge, we will formulate the right policy. Every other thing. One bad thing is what gives birth to all other things.
Not the bottom.
No, not the bottom. We are going to deal with symptoms doesn't solve the problem. Get to the root cause. The root cause is that we need to fix our judicial system. We need to reform our electoral processes, and we need to be transparent in our leadership and allow where playing. You know what I mean?
Playing field. In this our current Nigeria system, now the way it is now, do you think in the next 30 years with this Nigeria, it's possible to produce a trillionaire?
Why are we conscious about producing a trillionaire? Let's get the country fixed first of all.
If the country, that's why I said, whether is it possible with the country the way it is? Do you think there is future for that?
I think it's possible in Nigeria to be a trillionaire, but I will not say a Nigerian company.
So how would it not be possible?
Oh, sure. There are many Nigerians who are doing business abroad. They are still Nigerians. They can say hold Nigerian passport. And let's be very honest, if that is matter to you, I can tell you with the refinery now on, if the fertilizer industry happen, in the next 20 years, Aliko could be the first 10 richest people in the world. Yes. He has 200 million people, 220 million or 250 million people. By 2020, the World Bank predict we will be the third largest population on earth. Will be about 500 million people. Anybody who has this market and deliver to this market is a super multi-trillionaire. Find something that you can sell for 5 naira and sell it for 200 million people. There are not many sweet markets like this one in the world. Yes.
Now I want us to start rounding off, and I'm seeing it this way. You said in one of your interviews that in time of past 40 years ago, people don't need visa to go to other countries.
Yeah,
like
sure. When our economy, that's what I'm telling you. And there are still people who enjoy it. If we fix our economy, our country, the kind of resources God endowed us with, we don't need visa before to go to UK. I've gone to UK without visa. You don't need visa to go to Singapore. You don't need visa to go to Canada. You don't all the Commonwealth nation. You can travel without visa. But when the wealth is not common, then everybody asks you to bring visa. When the wealth was common, we accepted in all of those places.
So that all of this that you're saying and all this current challenge that we are seeing now, if someone is talking about relocating japa or outside, do you advise it?
No, that's what I'm saying. It is. Listen, immigration is not new. It's as old as Bible. Oh, the angel tell Mary, immigrate, take this child and the husband and wife, take them go to Egypt. So immigration has been existing. There's Naomi migrated. So immigration has been as old as Bible. But make sure that God asks you to go. Don't just go on your own. Okay? If you say you are going, because some people have gone full and come back empty-handed. If God asks you to go, the same God that asked Mary and Joseph to go also tell them when to come back. They also come back. Joseph and his brethren, it was immigration that they went that put them into slavery. It was hunger. Economy is bad. Then they went there and become. So many people are immigrating and they are entering into economic slavery. The former slavery was where the people, white people come here and took our parents them against their will. Now we are submitting ourselves to slavery. If you get to where you know you are also working, if you don't work, you don't earn salary, is that independence? Until you have financial independence, you are still a slave.
Some people believe that that place provide them these opportunities you are talking about in their environment, unlike here. Maybe that is the reason why they are seeing it that there needs to go.
I'm not a great advocate about japa, but people need to do what God asks them to do. If God asks you to immigrate, please do. If God did not ask you to migrate, that's up to you if you want to. Yeah. But I'm not a great advocate of it. I believe the chances and opportunity that is in Nigeria is unbelievable, unimaginable. It's just to have the eyes that can see.
There are some people that they are orphans, that don't have parents and all of that.
I was an orphan. I don't have parents. I survive here. So what you need to do is to start humbling. There are many people today who are not ready for apprenticeship. They are not ready for mentorship. Listen, in life, you have 4 phases of your life. The time of your life is the duration of your time. But in that duration, life is lived in phases. The first phase of your life is a phase of dependence. A tree, a fruit is developed attached to the leaf. You are born attached to your mother. The first phase of your life, you need help. You need to be mentored. You need to be given food. You need to be mobile. Then you move the next phase of your life, not dependence now. That next phase of your life is independent, where you can develop your dream. Dream for yourself. You still need assistance, but you are becoming independent. You are not like dependent on people anymore. The third phase of your life is a season of interdependent. If you understand why God said, as long as the earth remaineth, there will be winter, moon, and things. These are 4 seasons. Life starts in its first season. The first season of life is the season we call spring. April, early April, May. Life, trees start bruising.
Can you put age to them? Age to them.
I don't put age on them. I'm telling you what I'm saying. You see, they start bruising. When you pass that season, then you move into that season of dependence. That is like summer. Summer, the leaves is still on the tree and it's bruised and it's beautiful, but it start getting scorchy. Sometimes it rain, it's nasty. But the first level of your life, that the age of dependence, God does it for every one of us. Everything you look for, as you finish praying, you are getting answer. Everything is going good, well. But that's not it. So you move to this summer. Then you move into the third phase of your life, which we call interdependent. And that is the fall, where a tree starts shedding leaves. But that is not the end. Because Bible says for everything under the sun, there is a time and there is a season.
There's a season, yes.
Then the next season is the season of winter, where it gets cold and frozen. That is the last season of your life. When the leaves put trees on the ground, you become a fertilizer to the young generation. That's where I am. That's why I make out time. I spend over 1 hour with you now. What I'm doing is I'm trying to fertilize the life of young people. Because the next 14 years, I'll be 80 years. It's finished. It's finished. There are not many people that are 80 years that are active like mom and do certain things different people did. By 80, it's almost gone. Some of them, they start chewing food and putting it in their mouth. So if people do not foster for the life you live, you have not lived effectively. And that's why I'm dedicating this 14, 15 years of my life to generate and fertilize the life of other young people, to get them to think a little bit deep than they are thinking, not shallow. Very many young people are very shallow in their thought. no depth of knowledge and understanding that will prepare them and get them to where they want to be in life.
Yeah, now, okay, if something should happen now, God forbid, would you say you are fulfilled and you've achieved
Absolutely.
what you want to achieve?
Yeah.
Now, if there are final advice you would like to share to people, generally, especially the youth.
Absolutely. I feel very fulfilled by every means and every standard. And this generation cannot say they didn't know I passed through it. My generation. And you see, when I tell people, don't be in a hurry to advertise yourself. Don't be in a hurry to go and show up. With my third grade education, my elementary 3 degree, I served in 2 public quoted banks in Nigeria. With my elementary 3 degree, I've been to Harvard Business School. With my elementary 3 degree, I was the chairman of Nigeria Table Tennis Federation for 16 years. With my elementary 3 degree, the United Nations Industrial Development invited me in 2014 to come to Vienna, their headquarters, and give a lecture on youth entrepreneurship. 1/50 of the country of the world listened to me, including United States of America and Japan. So, it's not about your degree. It's not about how old you are, but how empathiful you have been to your society and your generation. Do they count? I was sitting in my office, JJ. Forbes Africa came and interviewed me and carried me. I made the front page of Forbes Africa in 2015, November 1st, as a man who turned 1 Naira into $500 million. I was in my office, JJ. I never looked for any advertisement. CNN came to carry me for 2 weeks. People pay millions. I didn't pay anything on it. So, your gift will make a way for you. If you focus on the things you are gifted and do it, doors will open. People will hear about you without you sounding trumpet for yourself.
People will hear about you.
That's correct.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate this moment.
It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate this moment that you shared with me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you. So, guys, thank my guest, Dr. Cosmas Maduka, for this very impactful session that we've had. I believe you have been highly transformed. I told you that this is going to be one of the best sessions or episodes you've seen on Selahmeditate. And I believe you have been highly impacted. I'm your host, Benzik, and it's your first time of coming to the channel. Like I said, take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And I don't know if you would like to share, maybe people would like to reach out to say if you have mentorship or anything.
Well, they just simply need to subscribe to my Instagram or Facebook. I do mentorship program. I speak, I think on the 10th of every month, I speak to my followers. The last count I did, people forced me to do it. I just did it last year, but I have over 100,000 subscribers. Subscribe to any of those things if you want to hear from me. The next topic I'm going to take is how to repair a broken character. People have been taught how to succeed, but they have never been taught how to fail effectively.
Can you share small?
No, it's not now. It's on my Instagram. It's also a book I'm writing. How to repair a broken character. You know, when you have failed, how to fail up. You know, not just fail and stay on the ground. You know, because you can come back, but many give up on themselves at that situation. So I advertise topics I'm going to be speaking on 2 weeks or 3 weeks and before the time, and I take my audience and where I pull them to ask direct questions. But on one-to-one mentorship, I don't have all the time. My most scarce commodity today is time. Actually, I'm supposed to be in Japan now, based on my schedule. But the public holiday cut my visa that I couldn't travel. Otherwise, no, today I'm supposed to have been leaving Japan. Today, I'm moving to China. You know, so I'm not supposed to be in the country. But it was fortunate that that situation happened that I'm available in the country. Yeah.
And that situation made it possible that you guys are able to get this well of
That is correct.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why God made that happen, because it didn't happen by accident.
All things work together for good to them that love God. So, guys, that is it. You've heard from Dr. Cosmas Maduka. Follow him on all social media platforms. I think the name is Dr. Cosmas Maduka, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, you can follow him there and get more of his wisdom. So, thanks once again for watching. And I'm Emmanuel Benzik, and I'm going to see you again next time. Cheers.